Ho, 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 said Santa Claus. Hello, everybody. Davenport here, 6 p.m. on the dot. May the 1st already, 2024. Wow, unbelievable. Let me tell you right. Don't have any idea who's coming on tonight, but I know there are a lot of people listening out there on the alternate channels. Mary has been working very, very hard on getting her social media marketing campaign built for her stores and her products and services, workshops and seminars. And she's really, really putting the time in, and she's getting ready to go live with those in another week or so, maybe a little more. And it's going to be a great, great thing. The hard thing is getting people, reaching the people. That's the hard part. You can have all the best products and services in the world, and workshops and seminars and every other doodad and gadget and widget. And if you don't have a lot of people looking at your products and your channel, platforms, groups, whatever, you're not going to sell anything at all. So she's working right now on marketing and public relations, trying to figure out how to break through, open that big door with that golden key and reach all of those consumers out there. I'm very, very disappointed in my team. I tell you what team. I don't have a team. Hey, it's just me, myself, and I, and Mary. And I tell you, we've been seeing a lot of fentanyl overdoses up here, and China White has moved into the neighborhood now, which is deadly dangerous drug. China White. I don't even think we have anything to counteract that or an antidote as we do Narcan for fentanyl. But you know, this other bone flesh eating drug is also moved into town. I don't even know what the name of that is. I probably should, but I don't. I just know that it's something you definitely don't want to get um, on your skin or in your body, whether injected or inhaled or snorted or whatever. Very, very, very dangerous situation, ladies and gentlemen. These drug addicts are everywhere. I mean, it is beyond belief, literally beyond belief. These people walking around with scabs all over their face and abscesses and pus and all kinds of stuff coming out of the pores of their skin, and you can just tell when you meet them that they're high and they're looking for another fix and another fix and another fix, and it's sad, shocking, it's dangerous and deadly, but it's happening. It's happening before our very eyes. I have a lot of my people come on here and say, "Well, we don't have that going on in our neighborhood." Well, just hang around. Just hang around, and very soon you will have this going on in your neighborhood, and a whole lot more. The immigrants are moving in. The illegal aliens are moving in. These foreign agents coming from these other countries are coming in by the millions. We've probably got 35 or 40 million here in the country right now, and that doesn't even include the gotaways. So we've got a lot of people that are not originally from here that have moved across the borders, came across the Atlantic and the Pacific and the Mediterranean and the Dead Sea and the Gulf of Mexico and every other ocean you can possibly think of to get here. And they've come on boats and planes and trains and donkeys and every other way that they can possibly, even parachuted in. These folks have been parachuted, paragliding in to California, folks. Unbelievable, literally unbelievable. The beaches of Normandy, remember when they were stormed? The beaches of California are being stormed right now as we speak, especially late at night. They come in with those big boats with those three big Yamaha engines on them, at about 60 miles an hour and come up on that beach, and everybody jumps off and runs into the seas. And this has been going on for months and months and months and months and months and months and months now. And the Biden administration is just, doing absolutely nothing about it except welcoming them with open arms and greeting them, rolling out the red carpet for these folks. And it's just amazing. Our country is imploding, you know, it's rotting from the inside out. And Russia really doesn't even need to fire a shot, or Iran, or China, or anyone else, because our country is on its way out. And we're doing it all to ourselves. We're allowing all of these things to happen. We're giving our consent, whether it's implied consent or direct consent or indirect consent or whatever kind of consent it is. It's working. We're allowing all of these draconian laws and statutes and ordinances and policies and procedures and things to come into our lives and take over our lives. Tonight's show is about surviving the inevitable, which is definitely coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that many of you say, well, you need to stop being so negative, Kyler. You need to start talking about all the good things that are going on in the world. But that just wouldn't do any good. It's just ridiculous because it's not reality as we know it. I mean, it's not what's happening. What's happening is our country is just being destroyed. As I sit here on the air tonight, our country is being destroyed deliberately. And of course, the universities. Have you guys heard about the protests at all the universities on the Israeli Gaza thing? And I was telling a friend of mine earlier that I remember in the 60s, this was very prevalent, 70s. They were protesting. I remember back with the Vietnam War, they were protesting all these other wars that were going on. But now it's just gotten really out of hand. New York has had to call out the National Guard again, and they've been there and they've called out more. And all the police are preparing last night at midnight for massive, massive riots in New York. And then, of course, all the universities are getting extra security called in for all of these riots and things. And then, of course, what can I say? Preparing for the inevitable. How many of you are really preparing for the inevitable? I would almost have to say very few, because preparation for something like we know that is coming. Marion is starting to notice that we're not really as prepared as we thought we were. The more she looks into this situation, I mean, I've told her that we really need to sit down and really have a talk about what is coming and what we're going to need to survive during this coming storm. And it's going to be big, and it's going to be bad, and it's going to be dangerous, and it's going to be deadly. And we're going to have all of the supplies and materials and equipment that we can possibly muster, and be ready to use any of those tools and resources at our disposal to protect ourselves, if you know what I mean. We're going to have to be able to protect ourselves from invaders and marauders and pirates and gangs and crooks and criminals of all types and styles who are going to be coming to take what we have away. And they're going to be coming with full force. And this is something that Marion has never seen before. So she's having to kind of learn to get ready for this. She's never been in that situation before where people were coming to kill her for a can of tuna fish. So, you've got to really stop and think about your talents and skills and experiences and resources and connections. And you've got to build the best tribe that you can build to keep around you at all times when this shit hits the fan. You've got to be ready. and prepared to take care of yourself. And right now, I guarantee you, major percentage of you guys out there are not prepared for anything at all. Most of you wouldn't last a week, you know, in a grid down situation. If an EMP hit, electromagnetic pulse weapon detonated over the United States, most of you wouldn't last a week in the dark because you have no water, no gas, no computer, no phone, no communications, no transportation. You're locked in, locked down. Now they're talking about quarantines again, lockdowns from this new bovine thing that's N1H8 or whatever it is, with the cattle jumping from cattle to the humans. The cattle are dying at 100%. Deadly, 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 deadly stuff we're talking about here. And they first started killing all the chickens, saying it was a avian flu kind of thing, and now it's a bovine thing, and now it's this thing, and now it's that thing, and it's jumping into humans and whatever. I mean, you can pretty well guess that this was a big part of the plan for Agenda 30 for the depopulation agenda. But if this next one hits, it's going to make COVID look like the common cold or just a sneeze or a little bit of sinus trouble or something, allergic reaction. I mean, this is going to be the big one, folks. I know you need to be slam banged on this. This is going to be the one that everybody just starts dropping dead. And, that's the only way I can put it. I mean, it puffs your eyes out all the way back to your cranium. You bleed, your nose bleeds, your ears bleed, you have high fever, 104, 105, 106. You have diarrhea, severe diarrhea, dehydration, respiratory problems, cardiac problems, and then you die. Um, if it's not that, it's going to be another one. So you can just dang well bet that one of these that's coming is going to be the one that takes out a few million folks. And of course, the hospitals, clinics, are going to be overwhelmed with people, and there's not going to be enough first responders to go around. And they've already said that you can just forget about 911. You're going to have to be your own doctor and your own nurse, and you're going to have to be able to take care of things. And if you're not trained in that kind of thing, or you don't bring somebody into your group or your tribe, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be able to need to remove bullets and use antibiotics and take care of infections. You're going to need to be able to learn to suture, I'm pretty sure. And you're going to need to learn to take care of other major emergencies that come up, stab wounds, and all of these kinds of things. And you're going to need to be prepared and ready and watchful and observant and highly alert and aware to what surrounds you, your surroundings. Situational awareness, we call it situational awareness. Most of you are not situationally aware enough to know where your cat or your dog is most of the time, or your checkbook or your car keys, let alone situationally aware for criminals and marauders and pirates and killers and all of these other gang members that are going to be coming in trying to take your stuff. And it's a sad situation. Most of you are just going to give up the ghost because you're not going to be able to fend off these folks that are coming to get your stuff. And believe me, if you got any stuff, they're gonna come get it, and you're gonna have to be ready to fend them off and defend yourself and take care of yourself and know some self-defense tactics. And it's not easy, and it's really scary. I'll tell you right now, it's really, really, really scary, folks. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there, done that, and it's really, really, really scary. And I'm not really trying to put all this fear into you or make you afraid. I'm trying to make you prepared, but I'm trying to let you know if you're not prepared, you're definitely going to be more afraid. The more prepared you are, the less afraid you're going to be. And because you'll be able to sync up with some other folks that can help defend your fort, your fortress, whether that be your house, your office building, or an alleyway or an underpass or RV or car or hotel or wherever you might be when the lights go out. You need to be ready and have people meet you at your location. That's what Marion and I have done and planned over the last few weeks. We've started to talk to people. Most of them act really just dumb as a box of rocks, like they don't even know what we're talking about. And those are the people that you don't want around you. We've got some pretty badass people coming in that'll be working with us to protect what's ours, and we'll be sharing our commodities with them. We'll be sharing our store with them because they're protecting, helping to protect us and what we have. So yeah, it's going to be one of those things, and I really feel for you guys who don't even know what's happening, don't believe what's happening, can't even comprehend what's happening, what has happened, and what will happen very, very, very soon. I mean, if it's not the uh, the pathogen jumping to humans, there'll be another pathogen and another pathogen and another pathogen jumping to humans, and then they're going to lock everybody down, and then they're going to they're going to lock you into your house. They're literally going to board it up. They're going to lock you in. You're not going to be able to go anywhere outside, and you're not going to be able to travel. You're not going to be able to hop a bus or call an Uber or call a cab or whatever. It's just not going to happen. You're going to be locked down under martial law. That's what's going to happen. You'll be locked down under martial law. And I've been under similar type of situations, and I can tell you right now, it's not very much fun unless you're well connected like we are, and you're able to get out and get through these lines and move through these different kinds of places and spaces without getting arrested or getting shot or something even worse. Um, and I'm sure you know what that worst thing is. Marianne, may I have a Dr. Pepper, please? Um, I'll tell you, um, I'm so proud, as I said, I'm so proud of Marianne. People ask me all the time, why are y'all working on a store when everyone's fixing to blow up? Well, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep doing the best you can. I mean, you can't give up. You know what I mean? You gotta you gotta give it your all. You know what I mean? It's probably Tim. Oh, that's Chris. Okay. Yeah, Pepsi's fine. But you've got to give it your all. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't just give up. You can't just lay down and just say, "Oh well, to hell with it. I'll just give up." The world's getting ready to implode, and Kyler's telling us that the United States is imploding on itself, and it's all planned for the depopulation effort, and all these new pathogens are coming out to kill everybody and all that kind of thing. Well, yeah, it's all true, but at the same time, you got to be a warrior. You can't give up. I mean, you can't just lay down and give up. You've actually got to get with it and get those engines running and get ready, get prepared, like I said, for what's coming. Now, we could sit here all day and bullshit about kumbaya, my lord, and all that, and, you know, hop into a drum circle and light up some sparklers and, start singing some Janis Joplin songs, but, it wouldn't help a thing. It wouldn't help a thing at all. It's coming, folks. It's coming. I mean, look, I've been on the phone with my people, and I'm looking at the FBI and Homeland Security and Interpol, and I'm looking at all of the alerts that are coming out and warnings, even from the White House, which is very unusual, and the Department of Defense, of course, and along with NASA also, and their Special Intelligence Division, which I'm in contact with and have been for many years. It's coming, folks, and I know y'all keep probably thinking, well, it looks pretty calm out here right now. It just it doesn't look like anything's happening. Yeah, well, that's trust me. Looks can be deceiving. Looks can be very, 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 very deceiving, folks. I mean, just look at the show we did last night. You know, you're not living in physical material reality. So look how looks can be deceiving. I mean, what you're looking at right now is not real. Not even your old lady, your old man sitting next to you is not real. They're just a part of the fabric of space, part of the fabric of the probability um, theory, the probability collapse. Um, they're just being rendered up there in front of you. So, you tonight's show, the inevitable. Get ready for the inevitable. I think all of you need a lesson in that, and I think some of you need to be knocked upside the head because you're so stubborn. You're like, oh, I've got some water saved up, and I've got some food bags and stuff, and but you can't get enough prep. You just can't get enough prep. I mean, you're going to have weapons. You're going to have ammunition. You're going to have, like I said, a major trauma kit. You're going to have to be your own doctor and your own nurse and your own specialist, and you're going to have to do all this because 911 won't be there. First responders won't be there. Disaster team won't be there. All of these fancy dancy things we say, and they're not going to be there. They're going to be home with their families. That's how bad this is going to be. They're going to be home with their family. They're going to say, disaster my ass. I'm going home. I got my own disaster at home with my kids that I love so very much, and I want to be with them. And so you're going to be on your own, kids. You're going to be on your own. And if you're not good in self defense, and if you're not good in preparedness, and if you haven't gotten the right supplies and materials and equipment, and knowledge and talent and skill and the right amount of planning and short term goals and objectives for the apocalyptic moment that's coming, then you're just shit out of luck. And you're going to end up in a box. You know what I mean? Hello, Chris. How you doing tonight? Well, Chris, it's either me or you. I don't know. Am I not getting out or are you not getting in? Anyway, um, we are at such a critical juncture right now, folks. We have come to the end of the road. Okay. We have come to the end of the road. Now, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have said that, but we have come to the end of the road. There's very little road left before we hit the Badlands. And you don't really even want to know what's in the Badlands. I've been in the Badlands. I'm going to tell you, it's not a nice place to be. It's very, very scary. And you're all going to have to deal with this central banking digital currency, and you're also having to deal now with the digital ID that's happening. The digital ID and the central banking digital currency and the digital passport and the social credit score and all that other stuff. I keep telling you all these levels, these different levels. It's like people say, well, I can handle that, Well, probably not. We did a study on the NSA and looked at a lot of studies that were done by some whistleblowers and some very high pollutant tootin' investigative journalists who are really good at what they do. And they looked at the NSA programs, and the Prism was one of them. And Prism, Edward Snowden wrote the Prism project, and that's a mass surveillance program, and they've got a special ops group over there with about 1,200 members that are separated and compartmentalized. These guys are beyond genius. I mean, they're beyond genius. They pick these people from junior high and they follow them on, and they push them into the best schools in the world. And they're some of the best hackers in the universe. I mean, they can hack anything known to any avatar anywhere. They can get into any account. It doesn't matter how encrypted it is or whatever, how protected they think it is. And this hacking is going on right now. Millions and millions of hacks per day are going on to AI. AI is doing this. And the hacks are just going back and forth, back and forth. I've got a map showing all the different countries that are hacking each other constantly. It's just amazing to look at it. Chris, you want to say hello tonight? Or can you say hello?
Yeah, I can say hello. Good evening, brother. How you doing today?
Been busy, 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 busy today.
Oh yeah, that's an
Yeah,
understatement.
I know. Hello, Tim. Good to see you, brother. We have been really busy with the new China white drug. Fentanyl is bad enough, but now we've got the China white drug brought in here, and now we've got the flesh-eating disease drug brought in here. So everybody's walking around with half of their face eat off here, and they're coming up to our command unit, mobile trauma unit, and they're just scabs all over their face and draining pus from all of these boils on their face, and they look like zombies. They look like they're just kind of the walking dead, you know. And they're taking these drugs and they're hooked on them, and it's really a scary, scary thing, man. It's really scary. We're having to run some of these people off. They're so violent. I mean, we can't deal with them. And then others, we bandage up and grab the hydrogen peroxide and the alcohol and grab the 4x4s and the gauze bandages and the cling and all that kind of stuff, and we clean them up and wrap them up and best we can, send them on their way. And most of them, of course, can't go to the hospital. They come to us because they got warrants out for their arrest, and now the hospitals will arrest you. You know, it's really a damn shame that you can't trust the hospital, you know, anymore. uh, you know, you used to be able to trust the hospitals. You know, they weren't there to arrest you. They weren't there as a law enforcement agency. They weren't there in that kind of capacity. But now it's changed now to the point where they're profiling you as you come in the front door of the parking lot or whatever, and they know all about you when you get inside. And then if you open your mouth and answer a few of those questions, and they're poking around there on the computer, the next thing you know, there's cops there and they're arresting you. You know, it's really a sad situation, Chris. Don't you think it's horrible that? Don't you think hospitals should be neutral zones for everyone who needs help, who's sick?
Yeah, but they're about making money, and it's not about the health of people. It's about who's going to pay, and if they're not paying, there ain't no help. Nobody. These people on this planet really just don't do anything for nothing. And what's so sad is it comes into the 15% of the planet that live on more than $30 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people. The
Yeah.
people that are 85% of this planet have a good heart, and they will do. They will work hard. They will do something. They'll do something for nothing just for you. But
You
the
know,
15% is the majority of what we see, though, and that's what's sad.
I think uh, I think Chris, you'll be proud of our program we started a while back. I didn't even really tell you about it. I should have. The time I talked to you there at Walmart, I was on the phone with you crying that day. We started a program, Marion and I, and it's kind of a referral recommendation program. It's for cops, it's for managers of stores, it's for clerks, it's for cashiers, it's for anybody, janitors, it's for people that work at hotels that we stay at. We, you know, if people treat us right, if they treat us with respect, and they go out of their way to be good, you know, people, and they really do good. You can tell that they're giving from their heart, and they're helping you from their heart, and they're really interested in you, and they're really helping you. We write a letter to corporate. We write a letter to the stockholders, and with the police, we've written about 8 letters to the about these police officers that have treated us really well out here. consensually. Marion doesn't like that word consensual. She thinks it sounds sexual, but it's consensual. You know what you know what it is, Chris. You're having a consensual conversation or interaction with an officer, and you're just saying hi. You're doing your security, and he rolls by and waves maybe a little bit. And you stop, and he rolls down the window, or she rolls down the window, and you have a consensual conversation. And it turns out to be some laughter, some happiness, some information exchange. It's wonderful. They're not asking you for your ID. They're not asking you who you are. They're not asking you. We write a letter to the chief of police, and the chief has written us back now, and he has told us how wonderful all of this is, and we've made a lot of friends. I hope Chris makes it back. I don't know why he keeps popping out. There's Chris again, yeah. So anyway, Chris, we started this program where we're writing letter after 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 letter of recommendation for these great people who really do care, really do have a heart. And it's working out so well that it's astounding. The police are coming around and having coffee, and they're thanking us, and they're acting. They're not in cop mode. You know, we throw them out of that cop mode. We're trying to get them out of that cop mode. And get them into the situation where they're just wanting to talk to you as a friend, not as a friend necessarily, but as an acquaintance, and have a decent exchange without having that investigative mind all the time. You know, and it's worked really well. The chief of police, I've got a email here. A couple of them I'll send you eventually of the chief. He's coming out to see us next week. What do you think about that idea that it's working really well, Chris? I mean, it's working really well. And my clinician even said, she does this. And I was talking to her today, and she said, yeah, it really does work to bring people together. It really does work in a strange way. People are not used to being recommended. They're not used to having letters written for them. They're not used to people complimenting them with corporate and the stockholders. What do you think, Chris? It's working really well.
Well, you know, I how many meetings have you guys had that people come together like that and have those little interactions without the authority uh, in your eye investigating?
A few,
You've had a
a few.
few. Okay.
Well, we've had about 16 to 22. Marion's counting them now. We've had about 22 encounters that were wonderful, and we've written letters on every one of them and gotten responses
Now, were
back
them
from the
single
CEO.
encounters on the people, or how many people were around when the encounter happened?
There were a few witnesses around when the police were here. DHS was here trying to take a child, and we actually stopped them from taking the child, and we wrote a letter about them, how wonderful they were. They didn't take the child because Marion and I intervened and talked to them and had to go through a lot of hoops and jump over a lot of mountains and things. But the officers, especially, they're always just complete assholes out here, and we found some wonderful officers, and that's not easy either because you have to wave at them and you have to see what their response is when you wave at them. I go out there, I'm in my stethoscope, I'm in my police radio up here, I'm in my IDs hanging off here, and I'm in my disaster shirt, and so obviously I've got my tack hat on, my tack on up here, which is this one, and my other, microphone, and they know I'm not a crackhead. They know I'm not a criminal. They know I'm not trying to break into a car or rape someone because they see all this shit on me. And I'm standing next to a 31-foot command unit that's fully tatted up. So they like, wow, who are you guys? Wow, what's going on? What do you do? And we develop a conversation, and then we slowly develop a rapport when they roll through here every night. We develop a rapport, develop a rapport, develop a rapport, develop a rapport, and then we send a letter to the chief, and then he responds and says, we never get these letters. He said we hardly ever get these letters, guys, and he's so excited that we actually had these encounters and that we actually recognized good officers when they came out and they were not in the cop mode, you know, and cashiers at the store that are wonderful, just sweet as pie, managers at the tractor supply that are just go all out for you, come out to the car, talk to you about the weather, talk to you about the chemtrails, talk to you about the war, and just put themselves out for you. We write about them. It works, Chris. It works. You should try it, Chris. Have you done that with just general people like the police, the sheriffs? We do it to sheriffs too, and the cashiers and the managers and the shoe store guy and the guy sweeping the parking lot over at Kmart or whatever. Have you done that? It works.
Oh, I've done it. Yeah. And thing is I also made statements about what people say, and what they say ain't necessarily what they wind up doing.
Right.
And 99.99% of the people that I just meet and have a conversation with don't ever ask them for nothing. I mean, I don't. It's not my nature. Except for, will you share what I gave you with someone else? And they can't even do that. That's the funny part.
Well,
So
we could
how many?
say now. Let me say something that might upset you. Okay, I'm gonna upset you right now. Okay,
Okay.
you could say that about you with us. I mean, we've got like 75 different major things that are going to help your bank account pretty soon and your future for sure and your wife's future. And you haven't shared any of it, and somehow it's got crisscrossed or it hadn't gotten to you. I don't know what's happened, but it's like there's a ton of stuff. You're not with us on the stores. You're not talking about the stores. Marion's ready to
Have,
open. She's got a
have,
Redbubble. She's got Etsy. She's
I
got four
haven't
other stores.
seen anything, and I do have a new email.
Oh, you do?
So
Good.
so
Marion, write his email down.
that's probably where you would want to send things, and
Yeah?
that would be Chris at worldsolutions1.com.
Chris at World Solutions
One
one
dot
dot
com.
com. Is that one ONE or one one?
A numeral one.
Numeral one. Okay. Uno numero one. Okay. 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 I mean, you're falling so far behind. It's like we're getting ready to
Well,
have a board
the
meeting.
thing is, I'm not necessarily falling behind because you guys are doing it, and it's there. Just because I might not know everything doesn't mean that I'm behind, because I got y'all. If I
Well,
need to
I
be
feel the
filled
same
in,
way
all you
about
got to
you.
do is, I know, but all you got to do is have a conversation with me, and I'm going to remember it, right? I don't even have to write it down. You can,
No,
but
I'm
that's the
complimenting
best
you.
part,
I'm actually complimenting you now. I'm saying you're doing the same with us. I don't know
right?
everything you're doing, but
Right,
you're doing it for us, for all
right,
of us, for the
correct.
tribe, for the
For the
inner
tribe,
circle, for the inner
that's right.
circle. You're doing so. I don't have to be there up your ass in the truck with you all the time,
Right,
and you don't have to be here in the truck with me for
right.
us to help each other and be helping each other all along, and just waiting for that windfall to come in so we can help our other nonprofits and help ourselves a little bit and put some supper on the table. And so yeah, it all works out good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. That's the beautiful part, and a lot of that's the thing. We all don't know everything that's going on, but as long as one of us and or a part of us is knowing what's going on and that's going on, then we know there's a lot moving. There's a lot of moving parts, and
I want to.
we personally can only do so much. But if we use our brain, and we do, that's why we're here. We're talking about it. If we use
Wait,
just 10% of our body, we're
yeah.
unlimited. And if you use 90% of your body to do everything, you're limited. So we
All right.
let's use the unlimited side of this. And people, what's part of that 10% is your mouth. Okay, it is included: your eyes, your ears, your mouth, and your brain.
I
um,
want to.
Go ahead, brother.
Uh, I want to tell you something interesting that happened, and it'll kind of, I think, make you think a little bit about some of the things you've said about me being too negative, and other people have said about me being too negative at times. I've gotten about 12 or 13 emails from people who said, Oh my God. You sent me all this stuff to research, and you sent me all of this source, direct source information. And I want to apologize, Kyler, for thinking that you were crazy and just negative Nancy all the time, and just totally fucking just down, 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 down all the time on people. They said, I no wonder you're fucking down. I mean, they're like, I'm so
Okay, you're
down.
right,
You
brother.
know,
And
they're like,
you know what? I love it that you got those emails, because if it brings it back to a conversation that me and you had,
yeah,
was what I needed you to do was stop doing all this deep research before we have a show about what we're going to have a show about, because you're pissed off and it's a bad delivery to me.
well,
And you know what I
it's
mean?
just it,
Not
yeah, but
necessarily in those words,
yeah,
but
I know. And last night was interesting. I don't know if you got in on all that show or any of that show last night, but
I was in on some of it.
it was way, way out there on the new
It
science.
was an out there show. I can.
Well, well, it's the latest. It's the latest findings. It's the latest
Oh,
findings from CERN and from
oh,
some of the
I
greatest
know.
physicists in
I'm
the
not
world. Yeah,
knocking what it was. I'm not
yeah,
knocking the information that was coming out there. It's because nothing is real, because everything that we think, they can change. It can
yeah,
change.
yeah,
It can evolve.
yeah.
Um, there's it. I get it, but
But last night I was actually teaching very intricately the physics and the quantum mechanics and all of the
oh, I know.
theory and calculations
Yeah,
behind all of this.
I was there. I was there
Yeah,
for a lot of it,
I
brother.
wanted.
I
And
caught
I
it.
asked people, go do the research. I asked people last night, go do the research. Go do the research. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Just get an idea from me and then say, well, I'm going to go check this out myself. I want people to do
Google it. Google
that.
it.
you know,
Hey,
Google it,
that
fart it,
needs to be our new thing. After we say something, we say Google it.
or Duck Duck Go is the go. Duck Duck Go is better. So go
Oh,
to Duck Duck
all
Go.
right. Well, we're gonna start using that. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what we're gonna tell people to do. Say, but we'll
fuck,
also tell them to Google it, because
yeah,
it's just easy. They know it. It's
yeah.
funny. And if you ask Google if it knows everything, it'll tell you yes.
The
So,
NSA The NSA just came out again for the last time here. The NSA came out again and said to Congress, yes, we are gathering up hundreds of millions of phone calls and listening to all of them. And we, and we're targeting a few people out of that. I mean, I can't believe these guys. They got caught with their pants down so many times. They just can't lie their way out of it anymore, Chris. They
well, now
can't.
they're not trying to lie their way out of it. They're just coming out and saying, "Yeah, we're doing it."
I know.
And guess what? You guys gave us permission because it's already written.
Yeah.
So you need to shut up. And actually, if I want to, with you even bringing it up to me, it's against the law. So
Yeah.
I imagine if you dig deep enough in them damn laws,
Yeah.
there's a twist in there that
Yeah.
says that we're not even supposed to be questioning it. We're
Yeah.
just supposed to take it because we accepted them to make the law.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a joke. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is.
Well, that's
And
what they came out and actually were stupid enough to say, well, the American people haven't seemed to really be against what we're doing because we're trying to protect them from terrorists. Oh yeah, by listening to grandma and her nephew, her grandson talking on the phone about her new blanket she just made. What what the fuck? I mean, protecting us from terrorists. You know what? Edward Snowden did he did a data breach and went in and looked, and he said they had not caught 8 terrorists with all the millions of damn phone calls they've been recording and all the satellite photos they've been taking and all the other drone bullshit they've been doing. They haven't caught they haven't caught 25 terrorists. you
hey,
know,
man,
Eh,
but a lot of kids been playing games. A lot of kids
yeah,
have been playing games.
yeah, yeah,
We need to be happy about that. That they're learning how to fly with a joystick in a room, looking at a
yeah.
monitor. Um,
Well, some of these kids have actually learned to fly an airplane on these new programs. I'm going to get one of them pretty soon when I can afford it.
Oh, those
They have
simulators are bad.
they've actually learned to fly real. They can hop in an airplane and just take off. They've done it on YouTube.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
like, I'm like, oh
there's
my
no doubt.
god,
There's no doubt. Those simulators are that real,
yeah,
and
they're real.
if you're there, the whole part of it, bringing it down and landing it, everything about it is a real
Even the
simulation.
767s are on there, and the 747s, and the
I know it.
727s, and they've got the flight data, and they've got all of the flight, where you're going, and all the mapping, and all the airports, and all the weather, all this and
It
all
even
that, and
tells
everything.
them how to change the stations into the directions and
Yeah,
set the autopilot
yeah,
and have the cruising altitudes, and it
yeah,
teaches them everything
yeah.
step by step. And the
So
reason I don't know, it's just
So the new terrorists, the new terrorists, like those ones that they said went in there and took Cessna training to take down the towers. Well, gosh, now they don't even have to go to flight training at a real place. They could just get on the computer and take down a couple of towers and go steal an airplane off of they've learned on YouTube or they learned on those simulators and they could just do that and then go do some nasty somewhere. But that's kind of scary, really, when you stop and think about it. You can go on the dark web and you can learn how to do any nasty thing that you could come up with in your wildest imagination right now. And I mean, I'm not going to say it on here; we'll get in trouble. But you know what I mean. You can learn to build things and put things together that are not very nice. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, and that's the what what is people's intentions? I like that question that I ask people. Who are you when no one's around when you get to create and make a sound?
Yeah.
If you could actually get a true answer out of the thoughts that go through somebody, man, I
Well,
bet you would hang out with each other.
have you listened to my shows on
I
espionage and what I've done in the field on missions? I have to go into when I do a mission, when I run a mission, I have to go out and I have a designated time to get into someone's public life and then move to their private life and then move to their secret life and then gain their secret trust and get all their secrets. That's what it's all about. What you just said. You just summed it up. I summed it up and you brought it up.
right.
That's the key to espionage, and that's the key to saving this country. That's the key to keeping us from getting bombed and getting terrorized and getting burned up and getting crashed and getting derailed. Is we have people out there like me running missions, infiltrating these different sleeper cells and infiltrating these different Hamas groups and these other ISIS groups and these other MS-13 groups and these other rogue groups and Nazi groups there in Ukraine. And so we infiltrate, we go undercover, and we break in with a false identity going all the way back to childhood. I can create a identity for me going all the way back to my childhood when I was in junior high and then they'll give me this identity that I was in uh, Algeria in the Foreign Legion for 2 years, and I was in Africa, and then I went to Algiers, and then oh yeah, we'll let you in. Yeah, come on in, and then you're a pretty good fighter. Yeah, I am, and I'll kick somebody's ass. Find the biggest guy there and kick his ass on the security team of the rogue agents, and then I move on in and they move me into the mansion. And then next thing you know, I'm security. And next thing you know, I'm driving the limo. And the next thing you know, I'm learning all about the guy that's riding with me. And before you know it, I'm getting all the secrets. I'm planting the bugs. You know, and so that's the way it works. That's the way it works. And it's not an easy job. I'll tell you right now, it's not an easy job. It's a very dangerous job. Can you imagine getting caught uh, in a situation where you're in Algiers or you're in Kenya or you're in Nairobi or you're somewhere with a group of terrorists and you've infiltrated their group and you've got a false identity, but somehow they find out who you are about 3 months into the mission? You know what's going to happen to you, right? mm. Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of that, and come out smelling like a rose here. Well, there was a couple of times bumpy. There was a couple of bumpy roads I was on there for a while. But anyway, this is going on all over the world, folks, to keep us as safe as we are right now. I guess Chris, and everybody out there in the audience must know that there are people working for you day and night trying to keep this country from just being blown off the damn map by some rogue agent or agents or organizations or sleeper cells or whatever. There are thousands of agents out there working around the clock, around the world, trying to keep this thing glued together. And you have no idea of the sophisticated technology that's being used and science that's being used and espionage that's being done to keep you all as safe as you are right now, to where you can go home tonight and go to sleep. Chris, I guess you have any idea how many of these missions are being run and how many lives are in danger right now because these people are undercover in some of the most dangerous organizations in the universe trying to keep us safe? Have you ever thought about that?
Well, I mean, I've thought about it, but do I know the numbers? No. Uh, how many of us are in danger? All of us.
All of us.
Uh, that would be my answer to that. Um,
Well, let me.
and
We have
go
about
ahead.
we have about 12,000 agents out there that are Top Gun field agents. We have about 12,000, a little over 12,000 Top Gun field agents, as dangerous as the Foreign Legion, and that's about as dangerous as it gets. The Foreign Legion guys, they make the Navy SEALs Team 6 look like a bunch of Girl Scouts selling cookies, if you can imagine how dangerous that would be. And SAS is out there, and MI5 is out there, MI6 is out there, CIA is out there, and all of these other higher intelligence agencies that don't even exist on the books. You couldn't find them if you wanted to. So it's a lot of interesting, intriguing stuff going on constantly around the clock that people never think about, like you and your wife, maybe your neighbors sitting around on the porch talking. You don't realize that you're being protected in this bubble. This invisible bubble is around you, and you're being protected. You know what I mean? People just don't think about it. They don't think about it at all. You know,
All right.
but
No.
it's very very interesting. It's very very interesting. And of course, the hacks that are going on, millions of hacks a day are crossing back and forth. I'll send you the radar, and I'll show you this thing. I'll send it to you. Try to send it to you over the next couple of days, and your email. It's amazing at the hacks that are going off. And Chris just left again. Hello, Tim. You're back. Um, but yeah, it's like a bounce house. Marion said people bouncing in, bouncing out, bouncing in, bouncing out. Yeah. Hi, Tim. Tim blacked out there. That's good. But anyway, folks, getting prepared, getting prepared. That's the key right now. That's what we're talking about. And we've come to the end of the road here, and your lives are about to change drastically, whether you like it or not. And you're going to have to be ready for the change. You're going to have to be ready for the change. If you're not ready and you get caught with your pants down, there's going to be that left hook, and it's going to hit hard, and it's going to knock you out. And you're not going to even know what hit you if you're not situationally aware and you're not watching and you're not alert and oriented times four to what's going on. So I want you all to really, really, really be situationally aware all the time, because people are getting robbed up here. The criminal activity all over the United States is increasing tremendously. And I mean, it is increasing at a rapid rate, folks, a rapid rate. Think about it. We've got over 30 million foreign agents in this country now, and that's not including the gotaways. And many of these people, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but they're here to do some real damage, and they already are if you've been looking around lately. If you've been looking at all of the sabotage that's been going on, if you've been looking at the latest train derailments that have been going on and following the latest plane crashes and the bridges that are being blown up and the underwater cables that are being cut and the satellites that are being interfered with the new technologies, it's really scary. Uh, Distribution is down, uh, probably 30%. And of course, the unemployment rate is through the roof, and inflation is through the roof, and it's not getting any better. Uh, Literally, this old machine is just coming to a halt. This whole thing is just coming to a halt, and they've admitted that they want to destroy everything and rebuild in the reset. That's what the reset is all about. They want to destroy this current paradigm, this current culture. They want to destroy this current culture, and avatars and infrastructure and our distribution methodologies, and they want to destroy our storage facilities and our nuclear facilities and our oil facilities and our underground cables, as I said, and definitely they want to destroy our electrical grid. And our electrical grid, as you know, is about 75 years out of date. And these transformers cost a lot of money, and they take about a year or two to get to us. So if the grid goes down, it's going to be pretty much lights out, game over for everybody. And if you're not prepared, you're definitely not going to make it. You're definitely not going to make it. So you should be getting your bug in ready and your getting your bug in bag ready, getting your bug out bag ready, and learning some skills and learning how this urban warfare works and urban combat works. And you should be studying and researching. And you should also be making a plan with your children and your wife or husband, your family, to come together in a certain location with a certain code, whatever your code is. You might want to develop some kind of sign language. You might want to develop a look at the SWAT team. You can go online and study the SWAT team sign language and learn that. That's a good thing to do. And you might want to get proficient in self defense. I'm not going to go into the different details on that here, but you might want to go into the multidimensional self defense potentials that are out there and learn a few of them and be very proficient in them, or get somebody around you that is already proficient in those specific techniques in self defense and so forth in urban combat. Because there's going to come a time very soon when we're going to have uh, the war in the streets, in your neighborhood. And it's going to be like Haiti. It's going to be like Haiti. It's going to be like Somalia. And I know that you all just can't believe that. I know that some of you just refuse to believe that, but it's true. It's very true. It's all it's going to take is a major bank run. All it's going to take is a flawed election, and they've already said they're going to interfere in the election. China has already admitted, and so has Iran, that they're going to interfere in the election to swing it to the Democratic Party. And so we're already in trouble. And I promise you, if Biden even has a chance or Kamala Harris has a chance to go back in, there's going to be a revolution, folks, that you do not want to see. There's going to be civil unrest that you do not want to deal with. There is going to be fighting and warring in the streets. There's going to be chaos everywhere, and there's going to be death and destruction everywhere. And I promise you, you do not want to be a part of that. And if you are going to be a part of that, you definitely want to have a bug out situation or a bug in situation already planned and know exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and where you're going to do it, and how much of it you're going to do, and how much of it you cannot do to get somebody else to do. That's my advice to all of you. Okay. Um, and I'm warning you to do that right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Make some phone calls tonight and start talking to people. Start doing your research and start looking into these things from a geopolitical standpoint and look and see how dangerous all of this is. And look how urgent this is. This message is urgent. I'm calling out to everyone. We could be lights out tonight at midnight. We could be lights out. And I mean lights out. When I say lights out, I mean everything out. I'm talking no gasoline for your car, no diesel for your trucks, no communication of any kind whatsoever except walkie talkies from Walmart or sat phones, which are about $1,200, $1,800, or ham radio or shortwave radio. So you need to be ready and prepared. Okay, that's really what this show was about tonight: is the inevitable. And I've gotten to the point now where the inevitable is much more serious to me now than it was 6 months ago because of all of the data points that I'm studying and all of the different variables that I'm looking at and reports and dossiers and all of the investigative journalism that's going on out there and all the whistleblowers that are coming forth. I'm very afraid. I'm very worried. I'm very concerned. I'm very upset, very nervous because it's a dangerous situation. Getting prepared for something like this takes a lot of psychological prowess and a lot of inner working power inside your psychological profile. You will have psychosis. I brought that word up. This can create psychosis, just worrying about this situation, especially if you're not prepared. Like I said earlier, the more prepared you are, the more probably the longer you're going to live. You know, and of course, I've had many people say that they just want to go out. They just want to go out and be erased and be gone, and that's fine. That's fine. That's your choice. So, but those of you who want to make it through to the other side, if there is in fact another side, you want to be prepared. So get your duct tape out because if we have a radiological or a biological or a chemical event, you're going to need to duct tape every seam in your house, every window and every door and every air conditioning vent, every heating vent, every return is going to have to be duct taped and sealed. This is going to leave you with a certain amount of oxygen in your home or apartment, cabin, or whatever you're in, RV. Is going to leave you with very little oxygen. So I would advise you to try and get some oxygen tanks. At least a e-cylinder. If you get an e-cylinder, that would be great. And get one or two or three or four masks, and hook those babies up because you're going to need oxygen because you're not going to be able to breathe very long if everything is taped up. Just try doing that, and you'll see how long you're able to breathe. Not very long. So yeah, and the best place again is to be underground. Marion and I have been looking at underground garages. We've been looking at, underground, underneath the buildings. How far down is the basement go? How many floors? We're getting ready to look at fallout shelters, and that type of thing. So y'all need to be doing the same thing. And Marion and I are astounded at the people that don't even have any idea what's going on. We're astounded. We're just too shocked. We're shocked at the people that say, "What are you talking about? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. What's going on?" They don't look above their head. Marion and I go outside. We're looking up. We're pointing at all the chemtrails, spewing all of these deadly poisons in the air, and people are looking at us like we're crazy. They're like, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at?" And we tell them, and they go, "Oh, no, no, that's not. Oh, no, no, that's not real. That's crazy. That's not real." And then the forever chemicals, all the food. I was looking at a few videos yesterday. All of our food's poison. I mean, all of it, everything. It's all poison. Everything's poison. And these things are, these chemicals. By the way, they're not there to unalive you in a couple of weeks. They've designed them to unalive you in 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They've designed them that way. Okay, so and they know. I mean, they know that these chemicals cause cancer and brain tumors and all kinds of respiratory problems and cardiac problems, but they don't care because that's a part of the depopulation plan. So yeah, it's amazing. I'm gonna leave early again because Chris is not back, and it really hacks me off. I don't know why he's not back. He must have had a call come in on that $1 billion we're supposed to be putting in the bank here pretty soon. Um, and Down Boulevard's not here. He's back on the drugs again, I think, and back on the hooch and back with the crazy women and having babies out of wedlock and running around there in the hood. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I tell these people, man, get your life together. Get your shit together, man. Get your shit together. I've got people here, man, that need to get their shit together, but they don't. Marion and I, we have our shit so together that it's scary. It's really scary, folks. I mean, I've taught Mary to be so situationally aware. She's just like a combat veteran. I mean, she is something else, man. And we're now starting to worry. Marion and I keep looking at these warnings coming out, and we're like, oh my God, we need to go to the store. We need to go to Goodwill. We need to go to wherever and get some more stuff, you know. And there's a few things that we're lacking that I can think of right now, and that's waterless matches. Where you can these matches, they can't get you get them as wet as you want to, and they still start a fire. And then we need a hacker, one of those hack sticks where you can start a fire with the sparks on the cotton with the Vaseline on it. And we need some coffee cans so we can make some alcohol heaters with toilet paper, roll of toilet paper in there, and fill that sucker up with alcohol, and that booger will burn all night and warm you up. We need some more candles. We need some more batteries. We need a lot of things, man. And we're going to have to get with it, man. We're going to have to get with it. But anyway, I'm getting tired. I'm getting ready to go here. Tim, I love you, Tim. And I'll see you on tomorrow night's show. Maybe Chris won't poop out on us tomorrow night. Maybe he'll get to stay a little bit longer and visit. And I appreciate all of you that are listening on the other channels. I hope that you've learned something tonight. And I hope that you'll take it to heart. And I hope that you'll think about what I've said tonight because I want you all to be ready. I don't want you all to be caught off guard because you've got your family to protect and your children to protect and your grandparents and your aunts and uncles and nephews and nieces and cousins. And if they don't, if people think you're crazy, just get rid of them now. Get rid of them. Just tell them to leave. Don't come back. You've got to get rid of the naysayers. Now is the time to get rid of the naysayers and the drama kings and the drama queens and the idiots and all that kind of shit. Get rid of them. Get them out of your life and just tell them to go and don't come back. But anyway, you all take care, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Is Thursday night, so we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Love you all very much. Mary's stores are doing good. She'll be opening up here in a week and a half or two, and you guys will get to see all of that, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on.